what is this? I've gone in through my browser, gone to iCloud.com, and I'm presented with a login screen. I use the email address that's required. It's a me.com email address that we talked about earlier, and I assigned a password to it. So with that email address and a password, I can get to iCloud.com, sign in, and I now have a mobile way to get to iCloud. At least part of it. Part of it you've been able to get to your iCloud data through the store. Remember, looking at purchase information? That's looking at what's on the cloud. Well, this is another way. You can actually look at mail. By the way, using this browser, you can actually create an email. So imagine, you don't have your iPad with you, you don't have your iPhone with you, you don't even have your Mac with you, or your PC, but you're at your cousin's house, and they have a PC. You can go in the browser, go to iCloud.com, log in. You now have access, and you can send email. It has access to up-to-date contacts, so you don't have to worry about who am I sending it to, as long as they're on your contact list. And also, you can update your calendar or see what you have in your calendar for the day. Here's the part about iWorks. I'll show you that. And here's a little piece of how you get access to your phone. Let's say I lost my iPad or it got stolen. I can go to a computer or my cousin's computer and find it, or to send a signal out to locate it. All the things we talked about are available on the website. Okay, real quickly, just to show you. Look familiar? Here's the inbox, your folders. Here's some email messages. Go back to this button and it takes you back to the main page, home page. Contacts. This will look familiar to you. All this is, again, using a browser like Safari or some other browser, Internet Explorer. Get to iCloud.com. So this is available to you without hauling any of your devices with you. You can use your cousin's computer. Calendar. Look familiar to you? Once I've got the user group on there for today. All of this is a view and gives you functionality of what's in the cloud. iWorks. Remember I said it was limited to iWorks? But developers, when they get their enough time, they will put other applications in here so that the data for those applications, or their documents, they will be stored here. Well, this one right here is the actual presentation of the slides I've been showing you today. So as I've done them, created that presentation, it got uploaded to the cloud. And by the way, I actually went in here and downloaded it to my PC. So I changed it to a PowerPoint, and I could use it on my PC. So it's a very powerful way to get documents from one device to another. Okay? A couple quick things. Done here. So, if you're going to Find My iPhone and Find My iPad functionality, you need to give it your login ID. Here's the map. Now, it isn't exactly where I live, or where the iPad is at the moment, but it's pretty close. Now, if I click here on the little eye, I can play a sound. Oh, you can't hear it. Sorry. Can't hear it because of some of the connectivity I have, but it would have sent a beeping sound, and it's aggravating, but it gives you time to find it, and when you do find it, you have to come into your iPad and touch it, turn it on. And notice here is the remote lock. I won't turn it on. Here's the wipe all the data off your machine. So you only use those if you are concerned about somebody else owning or having control of your device. So anyway, nice little feature. And the last thing I want to show you here, that there is a help session, an informational session in the upper right-hand corner on this website, and it gives you, in the left-hand side, an enormous amount of information about the cloud. It also has been a source of information. The bad news is I had to get into, subscribe to iCloud to get access to it. But you can drill down simply by clicking on each one of these. What is iCloud? How to set it up? You can kind of see the detail here. You click on it again, it compresses. What do you want to know about mail on the cloud? There it is. So it's a very great tool. Any questions about the website and iCloud? Yes.
Is there a company that maintains the service that they're calling about?
I think Apple itself, or they hired it out, but I think Apple does it itself. Yes.
I'm having trouble hooking up my email provider, Network Solutions, with my iPad. I see up there it says to use an alias. Can I create and use Network Solutions with the me.com and make it all work through iCloud? Do you know?
To sync up all your emails, you mean, across
Right.
multiple devices?
Well,
Maybe we can talk off.
me.com.
How about if we talk offline?
Great.
Okay. See me at the end. Okay. All right, real quickly, we've talked about iTunes Wi-Fi sync. Basically, it's the same sync most of you use, except there's a feature where you can eliminate the cable, but you have to be next to your PC, and your iTunes has to be up and running on your computer. So, just looking at some of the features we've talked about today, and again, I bring this one up to help you understand, because someone might say, well, why don't I use one versus the other? They're alternatives. Automatic sync across all devices. Well, for iCloud, it's a yes. For iTunes, well, geez, you got to sync up each device separately. Remember Steve Jobs saying, all these new devices, multiple devices, we're going crazy. iCloud was designed to make that simple, automatically in all devices. Any broadband Wi-Fi connection, well, iTunes, you have to be at home, or you at least have to be at the same Wi-Fi location with your computer and your iPad or your iDevice. And they've got to be iTunes brought up. So you have to manually take action, and they've got to be together on the same local area network. With iCloud, you can be on any Wi-Fi hotspot. Devices can be one away from the other. My iPad can be with me and I'm at the coffee shop with a Wi-Fi connection. My computer's at home. It will connect and sync up everything from that distance, where iTunes Wi-Fi sync will not. Hey, it doesn't require a computer? That's true. So if any of you have an ambition, or you're already in a situation where you have an iPad, but you don't own a computer, iCloud made that possible. I had that question for the steering committee. I didn't know if I would recommend to somebody, if they asked me, would you use an iPad without a computer? Well, I've seen enough features within the iPad itself. Now that you can download new versions of your software, separate topic, with just Wi-Fi connectivity, you don't need the cable to do that. And now that you have the cloud, I can go off and recommend to somebody, if they don't need all the power of a computer, I could say, hey, I would recommend, maybe with certain small caveats, them having just the iPad. There would be caveats. Okay? So that's another advantage of the iCloud over the Sync. Automatic offsite backup. Well, hey, think about it. Backup is there to protect you. If your device crashes or somebody steals it, you got to go out and buy a new one, and you want to start over from where you were. You want to have to create all your new music. You don't want to have to go buy all your stuff again. So what's the difference if you're off-site? Your data's up in the cloud. That's off-site. It's not at your house, not at your work. The advantage to that is, let's say you have your iPad at home, your iPhone at home, your computer at home. Not an uncommon scenario. Probably less common is your house burns down. What good did your backup do if it's in here? Kind of out of luck. But if it's up in the cloud, you subscribe to iCloud, it's up there, you can recover your information. You might lose your music if that scenario happened. Some of your music, that would be the music that you brought to your computer, into your library. You didn't buy it from the store. Or if you bought Music Match, subscribe to it, $25 a year, you can bring that back down. That is then stored off-site. You willing to take that risk? It's in your computer. I don't think I'm going to lose my house with a fire, something like that. Then local backup is okay. Maybe no backup on your music. Some of your music. Syncs all your music? Well, guess what? This is the only one that does music, the whole world of music. Everything in your library. We covered that. And free? Well, yeah, that's free. This one, perhaps. And I would suggest to you, like I said, I only used up 1 gigabyte for the iCloud of the 5 free that they give me. And you can always unsubscribe. Or you can add more data for relatively cheap if you need it. So this should bring you kind of to the last point. How much of this applies to you? Do I really, really like this? Well, I don't want to have to go and connect to all my devices and make it happen. I just want it to work. And maybe the iCloud is for you. Oops, is this a concern to you? Well, perhaps. So it's a bit complicated. You have to decide. Am I a person that's out traveling about a lot? Do I have a place of work and then I'm commuting home and I'm going to use my iPhone on the bus? So think of, probably the younger generation. They are classically in that scenario. They ought to go to the iCloud. Are you worried about something happening? Let's say, that scenario, your house burns down and you lose all your stuff. Well, offsite storage is important to you, iCloud is for you. Or if you've seen any of the other features that you like, really, really like, then iCloud's for you. Yes?
This isn't by any distance?
Yes. I mean, the Wi-Fi goes to the internet, it goes everywhere.
So in the US?
I think you could be in Europe and take your photo, and it would fly all the way back through the internet as long as your Wi-Fi connected. It would go through photo screen all the way back to your Apple TV, your computer, somebody that has that's connected to the same email address in the cloud, they'll get it. Yeah. Last item. Is it for you? Well, I would suggest you think about those main points. What appeals to you, cost, automatic and easy. I don't want to have to make it sync. It just happens versus it just happens. And how do we set it up? Here's a link. And I would just ask you to go there. I'm going to take you quickly, show you what it looks like.
Is that just for PC or Mac?
It's a website, so it would go to this website, and the website covers all devices. Mac, PC, the iPhones, the iPods. Okay, quick jump. Okay, this is what the website looks like. And notice it shows you all devices. So this page applies to all your devices, whether you're Mac or PC user. All you need to do is, if you're interested in any one of those, let's say it's a Mac, you would come here and click on your Mac. Now it's talking down below. Down here, there are your steps. Now there aren't a lot of steps. I think there's 4. And they're very basic kind of steps, self-explanatory. And once you set up your computer, then it will ask you, well, go set up your other devices. Well, if you click on this, it then starts to talk about what do you do with your iPad or your iPhone, and gives you short, simple steps. Okay? I think that's it. Last question? Yes.
I have a question about the security of the whole, all of that information that we're putting in. Is that reasonably secure?
It should be, but, you know, I think we all have our own various feelings about that. So, for example, I don't know if you notice, but I have a password manager, and it keeps track of all my passwords. I have one master one that lets me then log into anywhere. It's got a list. And it takes me there, logs me into every bank, you name it, brokerages, all the places I go. I will not ship that data up to, there's a service, kind of syncing across devices, where if I were to subscribe, I could make that same view apply to all my devices. I won't send that up there. It's too powerful, something happened, somebody hacked the website. So you have to kind of think about what's the data that you're sending up there and what's the likelihood that Apple is going to get hacked. And you have to weigh into that. I don't really carry anything that's that sensitive on my device. So it didn't concern me, but we all have our own, breaking points or, barriers.